so that we can change.
Now, the human rights
laws.
lawyer in Honorable Swambi is asking you, would you not technically advise us to change? Write it down. Honorable Nkunyenji Mwada, and you know when I come from that end, I will not come back.
Chair, the rules allows you to come back, but
I will not apply them that way.
But Chair, on page 4, I'm concerned with the response.
We have 3 documents, page 4
I'm holding this document, the report of the Auditor General.
Okay.
On page 4
of the report.
Alien registration. Now, reading that, according to Nira, they are saying their registration module and its functionality could not allow generation of IDs for what they call aliens. Now, we just want to understand, how can Nira have functional systems of registering various categories of people, including Ugandans, generate information, but claim it cannot print or generate IDs? Is it specifically tagged on a particular module or IT system? Is Nira trying to account for more funding? Or does Nira want to say that they have no other ways of printing IDs for what they call aliens?
It's a very good observation, very, very good observation. Again, rooted in suspicion. Trust Honorable Mwada. You've never trusted them.
Because generate information, which is required
how
for
can you have
how can you fail to print
a system which is intended to register aliens, but then it has no module which will help you generate a card? Why? Because these people will need to identify themselves wherever they are, especially when they are seeking services.
If we step into the history of the National Security Information System that was used in 2014, it was before Nira's Act was put in place. Therefore, at the time that the system was acquired, the role of registering aliens was not a role of Nira. Therefore, the system was acquired before the law was put in place. Subsequently, when the law was put in place, the module was sought. And when the module was sought, by the time it was to be delivered or something, the relationship with the service provider had expired. Thank you.
That one is not conclusive. You need to conclude or complete your answer for completeness. 1, to date you do not have that module.
To date we do not have that. To date the module is under development. We don't have it now in production. What in IT language is called in production. Why would it be different from the information we collect for Ugandans? The definition of a citizen and the definition of an alien differ in law. Therefore, the information acquired for registration of a citizen and the information acquired for the registration of an alien are different. Even the documents they present are different. So as such, when the system was delivered, it was delivered for the 147 features that are used to define a citizen of Uganda. So we are as I said, in October 2025, we shall roll out the alien registration module. Thank you.
Chair, I apologize, but I think the executive director is not honest. We are all Ugandans. We even do printing. Even companies print IDs. What is so special that you have information and now you say you will never print IDs for foreigners or aliens just because you're waiting to purchase or procure a system when you have so many other both external and internal systems? It doesn't add up well. Isn't it an attempt to try to justify more resources? It's a blanket check that we want money so that we procure systems. The word system is a cover-up. You have the information. And are you saying that without procuring that system, you won't fulfill your mandate of capturing data?
Sir, as you may observe, I have not requested for resources. We said the module is part of the new system. It is part of phase 2 of the new system. It was not part of the first system. We are not requesting for any additional resources, sir. We are simply saying there were 17.2 million unregistered Ugandans, 15.8 million needed to renew their cards. There are 60,000 registered aliens. We thought it prudent in phase 1 to start with the 17.2 million and 15.8 million. In phase 2, we shall handle the registration of aliens.
Okay, I think your question is very, very legitimate. We shall follow it up. If you are available in November, we shall invite Nira to come. In November, we shall meet them in March. If we do not meet them in March, even in the next year of election, we shall be here. The only difference is that I will not be chair of this committee because, as you know, the ruling party is not allowed to chair this committee. So my party will be in government. And probably as the Prime Minister, I may not be in a position to sit here with you, but I will remind you. Okay. Honorable Gaffer.
That time I will be chair. Thank you, Chair. Chair, my concern, taking the explanation of the accounting officer, my question then would be, what was the rationale of Nira planning in this financial year under scrutiny to register, I can see 30,000 aliens, when you knew you did not have the system in place? Why wouldn't you plan to put the system in place before planning to register, knowing that you needed this system for you to be able to do it? Because we are looking at what you planned vis-a-vis what you managed to do and what you didn't do. The reason you didn't do it because you didn't have the system. But when you were planning, you knew that you did not have this system. So what was the rationale now behind the planning? For me, that's my concern.
In October 2022, Cabinet approved the mass enrollment and renewal exercise that was supposed to deliver the system with all the modules. It was envisaged that in July 2023, we would receive funding. The funding first was appropriated in December as a supplementary. So all the factors aligned to this issue were beyond the control of the organization. By the beginning of the financial year, for bandage to be passed, you had to have a work plan. So we planned to roll out a new system, have a module that would register aliens.
Thank you, Chair, for the opportunity. Chair, Auditor General's report, page 4, where the auditor indicates that whereas Nira has taken initiatives to register a targeted number of 30,000 aliens in their operations plans during the financial year, I noted that over the years, this has not been put into action. And the last statement say, in addition, failure to register aliens means that the expected revenues for the year of USD 3 million will not be realized. I want to understand from Madam Chisembo.
Before she answers it, listen to this. In the Treasury Memorandum, page 107, Nira budgeted to collect 15 billion shillings. However, by the end of the year, only 7 had been collected, representing 47% performance. The accounting officer was advised to carry out a cost-benefit analysis of upgrading the new system to support alien registration. If found non-viable, Nira should consider the other options for achieving alien registration, including expanding the development of the functionality of a new system.
Chair,
Yes.
what I wanted specifically to know is how much per alien to register, how much at how much
15 billion divided by
Because-
30,000.
Because when you get 30,000 aliens,
Aliens, yes.
meaning each one is registered at $100. So
That is
that's what
correct.
we wanted to understand, that if that's the right figure.
That is the right figure, sir.
Okay.
I think what the members are asking, especially noting from the Deputy Chair and Honorable Gafabusa, is that, I mean, this, well, apart from being a service, it would bring something into our coffers. In other words, that it would justify the cost. What would be so difficult about getting or trying alternative means? You could even work in liaison with UPPC. It is our own establishment. First, you deliver the service, but also contributes to NTR, because the outer gen is saying, why didn't you try alternatives? Maybe it is so scientific, I may sound like the person who wanted to arrest foreign exchange.
The cost of the $100 is the cost for the card. So it was not. We've got the biographical data of a couple of aliens whom we gave alien identification numbers, but we did not issue them cards. So, in essence, we were going to obtain money from them without giving the service for which the money was obtained.
In other words, Ugandans were not expecting a financial benefit, because the money they pay is used to print their card.
No, it's the cost of the card is far less than that, but the additional is the revenue.
Yes.
Yeah,
So, for us, we lost revenue.
that's true.
Why? First, because of the reason you have given.
Yes.
Second, because Nira was not innovative enough, that they could not devise alternative means.
The card that we offer needs to have more than just a card. Otherwise, we would all print it downtown. But
Yeah.
we had to embed within each the features,
I would want you to print it from NASA.
and we would love to. But it has to align to a standard called ICAO 9303. If we did that, it would not align to some of the standards that security documents or national documents must comply with.
How long does it take to develop this system?
Well, we received money in June 2024. The system we rolled out in May. So it takes anything between 8 to 12 months.
Okay.
Thank you.
Gaffa?
Thank you, Chair. Going back to the question I asked and the response I got, why we planned to register these aliens without the system in place. My understanding from the response, Madam Kisembo, is that therefore, because we did not have the system, which is still under development, we did not do anything about it in as far as registration of aliens concerned. Now,
Maybe I'll correct something about that. We collected information of some aliens and registered it, but we did not collect the revenue related to giving them cards.
I'm still about the registration there, because I'm looking at the system and what's supposed to capture. So because we are still having the system under development, we are not able to do the registration. Now, I want you to look at the financial statements. Colleagues, I refer us to page 6 of the financial statements. And look at page 6 is talking about key performance highlights. And you look at number 20, registration of legally resident aliens and issue national IDs. If you look at the last column of achievements, you see 8 applications were received and 8 alien identification numbers were generated. I want to find out how these identification numbers were generated without that module, without that system fully developed.
Numbers and cards.
Yes. How were
There
these?
is a difference.
No. These are national identification numbers. So how were they generated without a system?
I earlier alluded to the fact that we did collect applications for aliens, but the money generated is around cards. So unless the module that we are lacking was the print module, the card for the national is fundamentally different from the card for the alien. So the card we have in the what we call the card personalization system, the module that prints cards and asks for country, whatever, is not. Those are not the same questions or the same template that the card for the aliens has. So we needed a specific module to print out the cards for the aliens. So that is why we collect, for those 8 people, they applied and they were desperate. They were working with government on projects and wanted an alien identification number. We gave them the number, but we did not give them the card.
Exactly. We are saying the same thing. The question I'm asking, my assumption is that for them to get these numbers, they are system generated, which system is still under development.
The honorable member is asking this. The query is not even about cards. Although the cards are the ultimate output. Ultimate output?
Yeah.
Ultimately, after registration or registering somebody, you would be expected to issue out a card.
With Momo, you have the power to pay your bills fast and conveniently using your phone. Dial *165*4# or scan to download Momo app and pay for water, electricity, TV, school fees, and much more. It's simple and saves you a lot of time. Just pull out your phone and pay. That's Momo. That's the power to be more.
Auditor General made reference to 2 things: the registration of the aliens and the revenue that was not generated.
Yeah.
So
I don't want you to peg everything to revenue.
To the revenue that was
Away
not
from revenue.
I have explained that one.
Registration.
The registration, we thought it, maybe, I don't know how to put it. We thought it unfair to go and register somebody, and out of that registration, give them nothing, and then ask them for $100. We thought it was a bit of short-changing them.
Not only short-changing, really. What kind of nation or country would you be? You register somebody, takes his $100, and at the end of the day, all you can do is to tell him, this is your alien registration number. Keep it in your head until we get a system to give you a card. I think it makes sense. Yes, Honorable Muzale.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, 2 things. One, I don't know whether this statement is correct or not. Page 4 of our Auditor General's report. It says the accounting officer explained that the OD, is it national what? The NSIs has an alien registration module, but its functionality is limited to generating alien identification numbers and does not cater for the printing of the national IDs. But they say it was rolled out the limitation has hindered anyway. I think it has some contradictions.
Explained it this way. By the time they came into existence, the system existed before. It could issue numbers but could not issue cards. Along the way, the agreement expires and the service provider quits. So they could have used the same system, remodeled it to a new form of functionality which would issue cards. From what they say here is that upon those ones expiring, they could not access the passcode or password, the source code.
The intellectual property for us to modify the system to go ahead and print cards.
You gave me a contract to supply a certain system. My contract expires. You age me out. I go with my thing. I will not give it to you. I think we should not spend much time.
US dollars. But they only wanted one thing. As KCCA, we were supposed to give them a recommendation letter that actually we needed help in that area. Where you don't have immediate funding from government, where you don't have immediate direction of how you are going to decommission, we could not leave that chance to move, to go unattended to. So as a result, we gave them a recommendation letter, and the money, the grant, was given to UN Habitat. Chair, you will note that the government of Japan, in some instances, does not give money directly to government. It gives to those entities. So there are many who bidded for that grant, and UN Habitat got it. When they got it, we sat down and looked at the report which we had for the cracks, for the leachate, for the flooding, and the slopes which were steeper and were a danger to the community. It covered an acreage of 7 acres. So we asked, this total land is 39 acres. How much can this grant help us to handle on the immediate risks? So the grant was only able to cover 7 acres. And what Honorable Kunyinji was bringing up, helping us to answer the immediate interventions we are doing on Chitezi, that is why you are seeing UN Habitat now in Chitezi. And they are using the Fukuwaka method, which was used in Ethiopia when they had a similar collapse. So they are trying to manage those areas which proved to be more risky as we finalize the bigger procurement for whoever will come up to decommission the rest of Chitezi.
Chair, if I may give a different version, yes, putting on different lenses to sum up this problem for you and for all of us. You see, the question you will ask in the wake of the disaster, did we have a plan, a worker plan? Yes, indeed, we have one. We had one. Did we have a budget? Yes.
Work plan was for us to bury the dead.
Not only that, Chair. We had a work plan. We had a budget. It was approved by Cabinet. And I have the breakdown here. If Chairman could dissect item by item, you'll discover where the mess lies, if I can supply this to the committee. Chair, this is a document dated 12th September 2024. This is, no, just one copy, one document. Different copies, yes, Chair. But I had requested for more. They are bringing more. Chair, it's dated 12th September 2024. As you said, the incident happened in August. Now, submission of the detailed worker plan of 16 billion to support waste management interventions in the Greater Kampala metropolitan area following Chitezi landfill disaster. It goes to the PSST. Who signs it? The Undersecretary Monica Edemachu. The breakdown is at the back, Chair. Now, when you look at the breakdown, A, support to interim operations at Katikoro, Nkumba, dump site Mukono, the breakdown is there.
Yeah.
The subtotal is 4.4 billion.
Chair, procedure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chair, I'm just concerned. I see the ED and the deputy noting down. I don't know that they have the copy of the document.
I had requested for more copies, Chair. You can see there are 4.
It was signed by the Under Secretary, Ministry of Kampala City and Metropolitan Affairs, with a copy to the Minister of Kampala, Minister of State for Kampala, and the Executive Director. So it is already copied to her.
Chair, there are 4 components there in the document.
And it was received by the Office of the Minister, by the Office Minister for Kampala Capital City, okay, a Minister of State, and the Office of the Executive Director. Proceed, sir.
Chair, there are 4 components there. One, the support, because you are asking for the report, what we did at those other alternative sites, Nkumba and Katikoro. The appropriation was 4.4 billion, which was approved by Parliament. Stabilization of Chitez to deal with the imminent danger, 4.6 billion. Then, partial payment, commitment to land acquisition, 4.5 billion. Total, 13.5 billion. But when you go back to the first page, Chair, the total amount was 16 billion. Now, the Minister of Kampala was taking 2.5 billion. We questioned the appropriation of 2.5 billion, first and foremost. What was the appropriation for? Chair, they indicated that this money was meant for sensitization, 2.5 billion.
By the ministry?
By the ministry. Sensitization. I have the documentation here. We said now you're going to sensitize who and what are you going to do. Up to now, this money has not been accounted for. What I can confirm, the 16 billion was approved
released
by Cabinet and released by the Treasury. Now, when it came to because now the Auditor General is talking about 4.9 billion. Initially, we were supposed to receive 16 billion. Now, 2.5 billion goes to the ministry. We are left with 13.5. You can see it on the top page here. We are left with 13.5 billion on the top page. What would come to KCCA?
Yes.
Now, finally, what came was 4.9 billion. Then we asked, where is this other money? Now, Chair, that's when the story of Jospongo comes in. They say, now, Jospongo, you got stabilization of Chitez, the back page, 4.6 billion. They said Jospongo is going to save us 4.6 billion. But meanwhile, it left the Treasury.
I am looking for the word Jespong.
No, it's about stabilizing Chitez.
Yes. So
there were questions coming in, Jespong coming in.
Wait. Because was this money going to KCCA or to the ministry?
Chair, as you can see on the top page here, there are 2 votes. Vote 23 and vote 122. We protested against this. We said it should be only vote 122.
Which is KCCA.
Which is KCCA that was going to deal with an emergency. We protested against that. Vote 23 had nothing to do with an emergency. Vote 23 for the ministry. So, this 2.5...
So, who is the accounting officer for
So
vote
now,
23?
Chair, I wanted to conclude this.
Before that, who is the accounting officer for vote 23?
The very signatory of this document. Emadochu, Monica, Ejua, the Undersecretary.
And on procedure, Chair.
Although just before that, Clerk, you will invite Madame Monica Ejua Edemachu.
Chair, I wanted to, as a matter of procedure,
yes,
that as the personality is to someone, according to me.
Can we use the word invite?
I borrow your word, invite, but I'm more inclined to use summon.
No, because you're not going to summon.
As per the
We
rules.
shall invite.
Chair, I was recommending that we summon the the minister for Kampala. The chair will rule. I've used the summon. The minister for Kampala and state minister for Kampala, because part of our concern was the state minister has been making very concerning rhetoric over Chitezi landfill, threatening to build a wall, threatening to beat up the neighbors of the landfill. Very concerning rhetoric, and we also need to interrogate it. And here we are, the road mayor is also making a revelation that he might have stolen 2 billion.
No.
And took it wherever he took it.
Honorable Nkunyinji Mwada, you know, these are our colleagues in Parliament. The Minister for Kampala and Minister of State are our colleagues. You cannot make the allegation of stealing. What we are doing is to find out how they used the money and the policy issues that relate to the matter. So let's use a language that is civil. I want to, and parliamentary, and I'm expunging the reference to stealing until we get the evidence. 2, I overrule you on the use of the word summoning. We shall use the word invite. And you know, when I overrule you, you don't insist on use of the language. Chair, most obliged. But
so Chair,
conclude.
My indication was that we invited them to explain to us.
The clerk is accordingly instructed.
Their involvement in all this. And lastly, Chair, when the Lord Mayor used the word the spong, it refers to that Ghana man I also mentioned.
Oh, that is the Ghanaian man. Okay, so the Ghanaian was, you were continuing. You will come in later, Honorable Wakabulin.
You see, the Ghanaian who owns a company called Jospong, and a delegation went to Ghana. It was comprising of the minister and the accounting officers then and some people. And they made a report. And that he was making a free offer, Good Samaritan, in the spirit of African brotherhood, to stabilize Chitezi. Then we asked for this 4.6 billion for reallocation, that we do a environment, it goes towards the compensation, if that's what had happened. What happens? When we ask for this environment, and also the 2.5, because the ministry failed to explain the use, we said all this should go towards compensation. Then, my brother here, who was the acting ED then, I wanted to conclude the statement. Who was the acting ED then, my brother here, Frank Arusa, generated this communication to the office of the Prime Minister. In the request, it is dated 22nd October 2024 through the minister, and say, request for the office.
1 page?
Oh, it's 2 pages.
Where is
I will not read the word. It's
no.
Back.
You see, you cannot give me a document that is not signed.
It is signed.
Where?
Oh, the back page.
I have no back page. I have only 1 page.
Oh. Chair, you can have this.
Yeah.
I don't know why they never photocopied the back page. Plus this other copy. I don't know why.
Secretariat.
So,
yes.
The issue is request for office of the Prime Minister to take over the compensation and the reallocation of the persons affected by Chitezi West Slide. He indicated that there are 4 categories of these people. 1, persons whose properties were destroyed and covered by the garbage. These ones I can confirm they were 24, but subsequently the number reduced to 18. No, these ones are 48. Persons whose properties were destroyed and covered by garbage. And as we speak, they are all in my office at the hall, as we speak now.
The what? The persons?
The persons whose properties were buried by garbage. They want answers. They are at my office at Stay Hall. From here, I'm going to meet them. Even after the proceedings
And
of last
Chair,
week.
Chair, for information,
Person-
they slept at my gate, and now they're at Lord Mayor's office. They are not. They are demanding for compensation.
Okay.
So there were persons whose properties were destroyed to create passage for the rescue equipment.
Okay.
Those ones were 24. Now they are 18. And what we gather, some have been, 18 have been compensated. 3 persons whose properties were submerged by the backflow of water due to blockage of the drainage channels. And finally, persons whose properties are to be affected by the 200-meter buffer zone to be created around Chitez. Then, the acting ED said, the purpose of this communication is therefore twofold. First, the second one is what is significant, important. Request the Office of the Prime Minister to take over the process of identifying, validation, and compensation of the affected persons, given the experience and expertise in handling the disaster victims. Meaning that actually, as the institution of cases were committed by the ED on this issue, that as far as compensation is concerned, it's the business of the Prime Minister. Yet, we were supposed to receive 16 billion. Now, the Prime Minister's office has not accounted for the balance, the difference between 4.9 billion that was remitted to us and the 16 billion that was appropriated. They have not accounted for it. So we needed all this to be interrogated. Up to now, we need to ask the office of the Prime Minister, actually the Prime Minister himself,
Where is our money?
Where is our money, exactly?
Wait. Colleagues, I think let's hear the version from our witnesses. Edie, on the Lord Mayor. Okay, you ask him.
Yeah, thanks very much, Chair. Chair, I've looked at this work plan which the Lord Mayor has given us that came with a demand of 16 billion. My first question is, were you part and partial of the planning of this 16 billion, request of 16 billion, to know where 2 should go and 4 should go? Because even when I looked at the copies, you were not given a copy. And that's why I want to know, before you complain about the 2.5 that went to the minister or the Minister of Kampala, were you part and partial of the planning?
No, Chair, I would say no. Myself and the entire political leadership were not part of it, and I generated the communication to the office of the Prime Minister. I wrote to the Prime Minister complaining about the breakdown. Even the 2 votes, I insisted that it should be 1 vote with 1 accounting officer, vote 122, that the money should go to KCCA, not to the Ministry of Kampala. I protested against this.
Chair, the reason why I'm insisting with that question, maybe during the planning that you do not attain, the 2.5 was agreed by those who participated to go to the ministry. Or to
I am very conscious of the language you put on the record. I think sharing is out of order. No, the context is well understood. I am protecting especially those that are not here. Let's hear from Edie.
Thank you, Chairperson. The money we received on account for management of this emergency was 4.9 billion. And because of that, we had to repurpose and ensure that the emergency activities fit within the 4.9. That's why when you go to the table, which was mentioned by one of the members of the committee, you see that instead of paying 4.5 for land, we paid 2.4, and all other costs for Katikolo, Nkumba had it reduced to fit within what we had. We also wrote back to finance.
By doing that, were you efficient and effective? You planned for a certain amount, then you have to fit into a less amount, and then the rest of the money goes somewhere else.
Chair, I am not sure about where the rest of the money went. But what I'm sure of, that even when
If
we,
I ask you, you know the amount which was appropriated?
yes, I
How
have
much
it on
was it?
paper. The money which was allocated to KCCA was supposed to be 13.5,
How much did you receive?
4.9.
Exactly, that's the point I'm making. I know you're speaking as a civil servant, and you do not want to go into the monkey waters of politics. That one I can appreciate and understand your civility. But from a factual perspective, yes, you can only explain what you received. And of course, nobody would blame you. We are in the process of trying to know where the rest of the money went. You proceed and explain what you received, then the others we shall find where it went.
Thank you, Chair. It's because you had already ruled about that, and people you are going to invite. So we had to fit within that, and that's why even for land we could not pay the full amount. The table against which we use this money is provided in the report on page 12 to 7. But the other thing I was responding to was the issue of the compensation. Chair, picking from where the Lord Mayor stopped, that letter went to the Prime Minister. In one of the meetings we had, we were informed that the Prime Minister's office was going only to handle the 24 whose houses were destroyed when they were trying to create an access to rescue people, and the other categories were not within their budget. And as a result,
Within their budget of the difference between 13 and 4.9, or their ordinary budget?
the information we got is that for them, they are only concerned with those houses which they
Did
destroyed.
you have a response to this letter of Frank Rusa?
I do not have a response. It was in a meeting which we held.
Frank, was this letter responded to?
Honorable Chairman, it was not responded to.
Was there any follow-up thereafter?
I think if you could if I could easily be reminded about the date.
The date of your letter is 22nd October 24.
Mr. Chairman, I that issue with the Prime Minister.
Yes, but surely you were the one who wrote to the Right Honorable Prime Minister. Did you involve your ministers? Yes, I can see.
Yes.
I can see you copied in the minister. And now listen, Frank Rusa. You copied the Minister of State for Kampala. Where is the Minister for Kampala here? Why did you copy the Minister of State and not the Minister?
On the head, on the top here, it was through the minister.
Oh, it was through the minister?
Yes.
Okay. Did you discuss this as an authority? Because these are policy issues.
During this period of the Kitezi, the aftermath of the Kitezi disaster, the office of the Prime Minister, if you all remember, took lead of most of the Prime Minister herself was in the driver's seat of dealing with the responses. As a KCCA, we had a number of meetings that we attended, and we could see that's the reason why what we did is to explain from what we saw who are the categories of affected and try to put it.
Then who took the decision that we should transfer responsibility? Because that's really not a technical issue.
No, we discussed it in our SMT senior management team, but we did not have conversation. We didn't have a number. We didn't agree upon it with SEC at that time.
Why? It is their function. It's not yours. Then what drives you to take a policy decision? And I think this is what we've been advising you before. The reason now you're answering a hard question is because of the option you took. You took over an executive function. It's a policy issue. Anyway, you have understood what I mean. Okay, I think, colleagues, to resolve this, we shall have an invitation. We shall have a discussion, a conversation with the Prime Minister. We shall also have a conversation with the ministers, particularly the minister. When I invite the minister, I don't need to invite the Minister of State. On the issues raised by the Honorable Mwada with respect to the words that have been allegedly spoken by the Minister of State, really, we are not going to be guided by extraneous matters. We shall invite the minister and ask her to clarify on these matters, together with the person who is supposed to
Actually, him, not her.
No, the minister for Kampala is the Honorable Minister Kabanda. All right?
Chair, what I want not to forget responding is the last bit of compensation of the victim.
Edie, have you compensated the people who lost their dear ones and property in Chitezi?
Chairperson, we had the evaluation team go to Chitezi. They gave us valuation costs for 34 households whose property was buried by garbage. They have been doing an integrity test and analysis for the houses that flooded, the 70. The report is out. They are now going to commence valuation. They are also going to commence valuation.
Which report is out? Integrity one?
The integrity, because it has to be done. It had to be done by engineers, then given to them to do the valuation. Then for the 8 people who own the vacant land which was buried, they are also doing the valuation of that. However, for the 34 where they have received released costs, I have since written to Ministry of Finance. I have had a physical discussion with the PSST, and I have generated the cabinet paper, which is already in cabinet secretariat, to seek approval for charging from the contingency fund.
Can you give us all those correspondences?
I can provide them, Chair.
Close of business today. Lord Mayor.
Chair.
Wait.
Chair, I have problems with this. You see,
Yes.
going to the PSST seeking authorization to charge the contingency fund and whatnot, when actually we had a budget and the money was released by PSST, that's where I have issues.
This money include money for compensation?
Chair, we had taken a resolution in the council,
Yes.
which we forwarded to the Prime Minister in regards to the 2.5 billion, and said should be part of the money for the compensation, the 2.5 billion. And when you hear the amount they are talking about, which is going to be on the from the contingency fund, it's around the same amount. I think it is 2 billion, 2.41 billion. That's what they are talking about.
Okay. I think that will be answered by the Prime Minister and her team and the Minister when they come here. Let me come back to my team. I'll start with Honorable Naume. I see your microphone is on. Or you're just enjoying it?
No, no, I'm just getting puzzled from what I've been watching and hearing. And people losing their lives, but then the money is given, and some people are supposed to give it, they don't know where it is, and yet there are people demanding. So that is what has been.
So the question, Idi, these people who lost their houses, where are they staying? Are you paying rent for them? Because you can see how the amounts are going to become even more astronomical. For you are valuing the house lost. But since that time, somebody is supposed to sleep somewhere. Do you have an answer for that question?
Chair, what is supposed to be compensated and the ingredient of that amount is given by the Chief Government Valuer. However, for livelihood restoration, the amount you see here, the 145 million, where you asked for a list, those people were given money on their accounts and it was 1 million for livelihood restoration, but you also accept that it is not enough to keep them for all this period. So So that was just an interim measure to help them have the
Who
necessities.
decided the 1 million for livelihood restoration? And what are the components of restoration? What do you restore? Go and buy a basin, go and buy a jerry can, go and buy this and that.
The beneficiaries had discretion to use that money for what they needed at that time, but we agreed on that decision in SEC and management.
In SEC?
Yes.
Lord Mayor, what informed your decision of 1 million in SEC for livelihood restoration?
Chair, it is the breakdown of the 4.9 billion after realizing that actually the entire amount had not been brought to us. For us, we took an arbitrary decision as the SEC initially that let's get 1 billion out of the 4.9 billion to commit it towards livelihood support. That was first the resolution. Then management came up with another proposal of 608 million. Subsequently, I think they found it difficult to implement that because it was around 600 million. Now, what we got finally is this 135. So, in principle, we agreed on the livelihood support.
Yeah, I think the word support is more appropriate.
Yeah, it was just support because we realized that these people had been rendered to a life of destitutes. They would come around, they are hanging around there.
Okay.
They were desperate, but it was not specifically 1 million, but that's what management could afford, I think. Yeah. That's what was available. But for us, we wanted even a higher.
Honorable Nsibambi.
Much for the opportunity. When you hear what is going on and the responses of the ED and what happened in Chitezi, here we have a very big problem in this country. First of all the interactions the ED is talking about is talking with government bureaucrats, and she's also talking from a perspective as if you own these people's land and livelihood. If you have admitted and it's clear that there was negligence and there was a disaster, appropriately you should be now looking at proposals and requests for amounts that would definitely fit the circumstances. You cannot tell me you're giving me 1 million as livelihood. Maybe Mabugo, which has no real.
Mabugo has no statutory provision.
Yeah, but you are
I
subjecting.
Think they paid Mabugo
you are
5
subjecting
million.
victims to a system which is really not moving. Chief Government Valuer, you come and value my land when I have nowhere to stay. So. Chair, I think maybe it will come out in our report. Government is really arbitrary. We're also looking at these vulnerable who have no access to lawyers, like Abdallah here, because they have no money, and the ED is putting up posters to welcome an individual at abdominal. So I think really we're also massaging KCC too much. Okay. This is not your land. You brought a monster. For us in law, we call it residence and fracture.
Thank you.
No, don't stop me, Chair. I'm an old man. Don't. Yes, let me talk. If not,
please,
I can leave.
Please try to finish.
There's what we call residence and fracture. Whoever brings a dangerous animal, you bring it at your own peril. So, you cannot just say, we talk to PSST, we talk to who? When our people are suffering because they are poor, they cannot talk. We are human rights lawyers. This thing of Chitezi is not in your hands as individuals. No, you must explain why are you not giving adequate compensation for a wrong that you brought in the Middle East. Sorry, Chair, but this is, our people are suffering, everyone is suffering. And we look on and say, PSST is not the mother of this country.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
slightly close to that. We are aware about, according to the Auditor General's report, KCCA is equally grappling with the rising costs as far as legal issues are concerned. I want to know from the Director Legal whether these people, because it is clear these people must be compensated and appropriately, and they are supposed to be compensated more than yesterday. Have they filed any case against KCCA? No, we need to know whether they have filed any case against KCCA in respect of this issue, because it is another issue where we are seeing costs are going to keep on rising on a very clear issue like this, and who is going to be responsible?
Thank you. Rusa, can you answer that?
So up to now, there has been processes going on or talking about. I appreciate the urgency and the gravity of this issue. There have been engagements with the people of Cosase ever since this happened up to today. And in these engagements, there has been a commitment or some movement made towards compensation or discussions around compensation, whether we're talking about government value, PSS, all these conversations, which have kept some hope in the people. They have been very patient. Of course, we can see that their patience has been stretched, but they have not yet been moved to reach a point of suing, because they still have hope that there will be some results from this process.
Okay. This Baka. No cases. Baka.
Thanks very much, Chair. Chair, me, I'm not blaming cases, but I want to give you a word of advice. Ever since this incident of Cosase, the way monies have been requested is under emergency. For Dundu, for Boyala, for wherever. But when it comes to compensation of the victims, the word emergency ceases to be. It's more than a year now. And I think you need to quicken that process. And I was a member here who raised the issue that even this Buyala and others, are you taking them as dumping sites or landfills? That's also another question that is going to come. Because if we visit, we are going to visit Buyala, of course, and we are going to say you are dumping the waste there, and then we are going to ask the criteria, the difference between a dumping site and landfill. So let's work together. For us, we are not here to see the wrong side of your. We want to work as a team, so that at the end of the day, we can solve the problems. And we want you to take all these questions that we are raising in good spirit, that we are assisting you. If it is team working, please work as a team. Yes, work as a team. Because at first I was the chair, I was saying that is the road mayor working together with cases or not? But now I've come to realize that I think he has a point. As a politician, you start infringing on his policy matters just to say that he is also existing. So work as a team so that we can solve these problems. Because surely, 1 year, those people were, this small money which was given to them, and they are still settled by their relatives and friends. When are you going to compensate them? And now this word of sensitizing. By the way, we're going to be serious with the minister's chair.
Mr. Frank Rusa.
The word sensitization.
Wait. Mr. Rusa, access the microphone. At least I remain a member. You were a lawyer. Okay, through the chair who has refused to hand back the power. If I am a victim of what happened in Cosase, I lost my house, and I sued you today, would I be justified in asking you to pay the rent I have spent since that time?
Yes.
So by therefore delaying the payment, do you see how you are going to increase the astronomical costs of compensation?
That possibility is true. It's a real possibility. Yeah.
You know, did he teach you Ryland and Fletcher?
Yes, he did, and he has just reminded us about it.
He has just reminded you. At least he did not eat our money for free. You see the troubles that we are grappling with. Now, you write a letter on 21st February, no, not 20, October. 22nd October. You don't follow it up because they don't respond. I mean, because they are givers, they have the liberty not to respond because they feel, why is this one transferring their liability onto us? You are the principal offender in Kitezi as KCC. You are the tortfeasors. You want to seek refugee or to get assistance, and your sister keeps quiet, and you don't follow up. How do you want this committee to treat you or to take you?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I really appreciate what you're saying and the council and caution given to us by the Honorable Nsibambi. In that time, because Kitezi was conceived as a disaster, a national disaster, the Ministry of Disaster Preparedness under Office of Prime Minister took a natural lead in dealing with it. They took it as a national emergency response. So in that time, our voices in this whole, the main voice was the Office of the Prime Minister. And all coordination government efforts around dealing with this disaster were focused on the Office of the Prime Minister. And so we realized that if we are going to help the people of Kitezi get quick attention, what we are going to do, let us be advocates of who exactly has been hurt, how have they been hurt, submit these details to the Office of the Prime Minister.
Did you identify them?
Yes, this is the list. The people he quoted. That this number.
Give us that list.
That letter which you've just read through, which you've.
No. Now part of the report that we want, which has the list of people who are affected.
Yeah, I think the ED will pick up on that one.
That is the list. I think that's one we agreed you're going to give us.
That's
Okay. That's the additional information we want.
we will provide it, Chair.
Okay. Let Honorable Bakabulindi conclude.
Yeah. There is this item, sensitization. Whenever there is drawing of money for emergency, sensitization, it has taken billions. Not only this one we have seen of 2.5 billion. Chair, we would wish to know whom are they sensitizing? The victims, the technical people?
You're asking a good question to the wrong group.
The
people who took the money for sensitization are not here. You can't ask these ones.
We shall wait for them.
Yes. Okay, Lord Mayor?
I think I'm sorry, he might be having a point, because even the 4.9 billion, if you could look at that item 3 on the, it is there. 1, allowances for emergency response team. Now, 2, cadastral plan. In the answer there. The answer that was given. The answer given by the ED. The one the deputy chair was reading. The breakdown the deputy chair was reading.
The response.
The response there.
Page 12. According to the enhanced.
You would see in the 3rd row. Cadastro, the next one. Yes, community sensitization stroke public awareness. That is 61 million. I just wanted to be honest that even in the little we received, there was that component. And for us, we are still handling it internally. I don't want to argue it here with my dear sister, because this is still under consideration internally. But the bigger picture of the 2.5 billion is what we are really interested in.
Why I said so is because the Honorable Kabulindi was talking about specifically the 2.5 billion and the other cases which he said are not here. That whenever there is a disaster, there is a component for sensitization. We are curious to know the sensitization that would cost Ugandans 2.5 billion.
Okay.
That one we will ask the appropriate people.
Now, the other issue, Chair, I wanted to make a humble request in light of the Honorable Bakabulindi's counsel is giving us. I can see the dilemma there is this side. The ED has explained to you that we are seeking authorization from PSST to charge the contingency fund. But I'm afraid we may not succeed, and we may give false hope to the victims of Chitezi that processes are underway, yet money may not be forthcoming. Why? Because following the letter by the acting ED then of 22nd October, OPM and finance took steps to implement what had been communicated.
Oh, okay. How?
And money, by releasing money to OPM for compensation. So they cannot, the PSST who authorized release of money to OPM for compensation will find it difficult to release more, to authorize us to charge on the contingency fund when there is already a fund in the OPM.
Do you have a communication from PSST to that effect?
Not from PSST. We are privy to what is being discussed there. We are privy. We have that information. And we are asked, and I wanted to be honest with you.
Yes.
So, and I wanted to ask if we are to help the victims of Chitez to unravel that expeditiously, because the ED is going to hit a dead end with this process of seeking consent from the PSST. We are going to hit a dead end.
In the first place, why would it be given to resort to the contingency fund if money has been released? Now, the money was released to... Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Allow me to come in.
Honorable Okupa.
Chair, don't you know that they jump the queue sometimes? So the queue has been jumped. Chair, this is why I'm finding a bit of contradiction. Because earlier on, a letter was read here saying we don't have the technical capacity. We are passing this thing to Office of the Prime Minister. The money was also passed there. But now we are seeing KCCA writing to PSST for the
requesting authorization to resort to the contingency
Yet
fund.
the people whom they gave the powers and the money was passed to have not given accountability of that money which they have got, because the 13 minus 4.9. I'm just finding a contradiction now that Madam ED, that shouldn't have been the office of the Prime Minister that was responsible, who should be now following up this matter if the money which they got was not enough.
On Okupa, we have already guided that we're going to have an interface with the OPM.
I agree with you. But I was just having that because now it's the ED was now saying you have written to PSST regarding that matter. But I also would want that letter, the one she has written. We want to have a look at
Maybe, yes.
That letter, you wrote PSST, and
letter.
when it was written. And when it was written.
Just give us that letter, and we will not be required to answer the rest.
Because we want these people to be helped. We shall not stop at even OPM or the ministers, even PSST. We should be able to summon.
It's not only about helping those people. It is about accountability. We want the person.
I thought that one is a given. Yeah, that's why I was bringing that
comes
aspect.
first.
Yeah. Because it's a given.
Honorable Mzale.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, if I have listened very well, the reason for the delays for compensation, one of the issues was to do with the government valuer. Government valuer has not issued his values, so they, as cases say, they can't proceed.
They can't pay because they don't have the money also.
Mr. Chairman, even when they have the money, they can't pay because government valuer's report is not there.
Under which law? Under which law? That for you to be compensated for your property destroyed, there must be a government valuer's report.
Mr. Chairman, unless the Honorable Yusuf Nsebambi is not in this government.
No, it's not.
Otherwise,
No, I think orderliness would still require that. Otherwise, we would be asking them.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group, HGO brand, has officially launched the rider selection campaign. Registration is now open.
That one means that our customers are not being fully supported.
What happens to theirs? Do
Now,
they cross?
What happened? Over recently, they were also actually stopping theirs from crossing to Uganda. But last week, we escalated this issue to the president. The president was able to discuss with the president of Kenya. They have now instructed us, the CEOs of railways, to sort out all these issues. As I talk now, the wagons are actually moving and crossing. You know, it's because of the business interests. Because now, as I talk now, the wagons are actually crossing, they are coming and going.
Theirs come, yours go.
Are also going.
So what you called unresolved is now resolved.
As per today.
Okay.
The meeting was last week. Now, the second issue, Mr. Chairman.
But Chair, we need evidence over that.
Of that, you want photographs of them crossing?
The argument.
Well, if it was at a presidential level, I don't think they would be. Yeah, even with an MOU, I don't think they would. It would be available.
No, Chair, I really watched the ministers and the CEO signing MOUs when the president was in Nairobi. So actually, we always get a road deal that theirs may be crossing, but ours are not. So that's why I think the colleague is saying.
Because there are even many. For you have only two crossings.
Yes, but let us get our fair. Yes. So that is because actually the customers are getting a road deal. I have contracted you to transport my goods from Kampala to Mombasa. Now you are reaching Malaba and you tell me that you have to stop here, offload, and then load. Who has been taking and taking the cost?
How about the compatibility issues?
No, we don't
the
have
locomotive compatibility issues. Can yours fit on there?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, there is no any incompatibility issues. Our wagons, our locomotives, they cross Kenya, Tanzania.
Every when? How regular?
Come again, sir?
How regular? Because if you
yes, under normal.
Give me the schedule.
Operational procedures. A train is supposed to take 7 days to move from Mombasa to Kampala and then back. Minimum 14 days.
Because what I'm going to do is to get people like the Honorable Keo.
Yes.
You tell me we shall pay. I put them on your locomotive. They go up to Mombasa, come back. Because
yes,
we need... No.
No, frankly speaking, Honorable Chairman, we need your support. If it means taking them there and it adds value to us, we shall do it.
Yeah. And don't worry, even if you have cargo, they can be on top of cargo.
Then another area, Mr. Chairman, of the interview issue is the, let's see, we have outstanding wagon detention and user charges. Under normal circumstances, we have an agreement with Kenya and Uganda and Tanzania that a wagon crossing should be able to stay, our wagon in Uganda should be able to stay in Kenya for 14 days. Beyond that, it is deemed to be doing business in Kenya. It is deemed to be doing local business in Kenya, and therefore they are earning when for us we are not earning. So we put a fee on that. So what's happening, Mr. Chairman, is that yes, our wagons are staying there for a long time. We are charging them as we agreed in an MOU that if they delay, you are supposed to pay us this amount of money as per the MOU, but they are not paying us. So also that's an area we are going to discuss. So it is the other way.
You see that dimming is the one that is problematic. Why first of all, why would it be staying there longer, what would it be doing?
Exactly.
Are they detaining it or not? That's number one. Number two,
Yes.
it's an integrity issue. Who is in charge of it? Your own staff? Not so?
No.
Oh.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the moment it crosses like this,
Yes.
it is now in the hands of Kenya Railways. And now even the payment goes to Kenya Railways. The moment their wagon crosses to Uganda, it's in the hands of Uganda Railways. And
So you have no mechanism of monitoring?
We have a mechanism, Mr. Chairman, which we use, and let me request...
Then why do you use deeming when you have a mechanism of knowing it's not doing business for them?
Maybe I used the wrong word, Mr. Chairman. I'm not a lawyer.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. And the Honourables, through my MD, all over the world, railways cross countries and railways cross continents. And these railway network are owned by different countries, like it is with us and Kenya Railways. The end game is for the cargo to end at the port, and then the cargo to end at the door terminal of the client. So we use these wagons for Kenya Railways, for Uganda Railways, jointly. They earn their revenue, we also earn our revenue. We have a law that governs our operations, which we call the tripartite agreement of the three railway networks. That's Kenya Railways, Uganda Railways, and Tanzania Railways Corporation. And in this law in particular, it governs how the assets will be used, the assets of each other network, especially the wagons which carry cargo. So that when the MD highlighted, which I wanted to clarify, Chair, is the reason why they put certain number of days is to create a discipline that these assets are, you fast track returning them, because you have to sweat them to generate money. Yeah. You might not necessarily keep them because you're using them, but because of your inefficiencies. They can come here, because of me as the chief operations officers, I have my inefficiencies, I don't return them. So there is a charge after a certain number of days. They may also retain them for business, not to frustrate you. You are right, Honorable. So in that case, Honorable, there is a charge, which we call detention charge, from a certain limit of days. The reason they said 7 days in Uganda is because our network is shorter, 250 kilometers. The reason why they are saying 14 days in Kenya, the network is longer 1,000 kilometers. So the designers of this tripartite agreement were envisaging such operation. So they are saying, should you exceed 7 days, from the 8th day, the corporation starts charging. From the 15th day, starts charging. So what the counting office has highlighted, a time we have the bill we exchange. After we exchange these bills, we do a verification of the bills, we give the other entity the bill, say, look, for this period or this year, my wagons were in your network exceeding this number of days, you have to pay me, say, $2 million. So that's what is talking, which we are trying to resolve. Thank you,
yes.
Chair.
Some clarification. Remember, ours is ever sick. So when it is admitted the other side, so can you clarify? Because ours is very sickly every time it's admitted.
Yeah, in other words, does the memorandum take into account the sickness of the patient? I think the accounting officers allowed me to proceed. I thank you, Honorable. Yeah, then, yes, what we are doing at the border, what we interchange are locomotives. The Kenyan locomotives come and stop at the border, and our locomotives also come and stop at the border. The wagons which load the cargo proceed. However, if the wagon is sick, there is a provision for that. We have a system currently we're using, though old, it was bought by the concessionaire called Translogic, which tracks the wagons. You will see this wagon is sick, and once it is sick, when you are doing a reconciliation, you remove it. It remained here because it was sick, you don't charge for it. That's what happened, Honorable. Thank you. Petunga, you had a question?
No, Chair, mine was an observation and through you, Chair, a request. Chair, we have had the terminologies here, wagons, locomotives, sickness, sick bay. So, Chair, I wanted to propose that we
You know, if you are sick, the Vanyankore call it kulaguza. You go for kulaguza and kulaguza. The Waganda understand the kulaguza to mean the one of Mutula Kungo.
Hey.
So if they are sick, they go to Narukolongo. That is where the Mutula Kungo sits.
And Chair, that's why I'm proposing through Chair that we take this case to be a case of a monkey that should be resolved in the forest, not in the boardroom. And I wanted to request Chair that we get a day and visit and look at these locomotives, look at these ones which are sick.
Which one do you want to visit? The one in Mama Fina's hospital?
No, Chair, I think between here and the railways, is near, we can have it and move up to maybe Narukolongo.
Yeah, we can walk to work.
Then we appreciate, and by the time we invite the minister here, Chair, would have appreciated what is on the ground, because a lot of terminology is being used here. And yet one of our roles is oversight. So we can take our oversight through and we do that, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Honorable Nangoli.
Chair, while the accounting officer was making his very elaborative submission, he talked about having the cargo that's moving, you know, as my colleague said about the terminals, the train that's moving between Kampala, Mukono, Buyogerere and back. So far, I think you have been on it for about 1 year. Is it 1 year or 2 years?
The passenger?
Yes.
2 years.
2 years.
But why do you do it morning and evening? You mean there are no passengers
during that time?
Yes.
And how is the economic viability? Are we making some money out of it? Or because it's usually full, I see people very full.
I have my daughter here who normally takes it in the evening.
Yeah. The cost benefit analysis. Are we making business out of it?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, world over, passenger service is actually supposed to be a public service obligation. The government is supposed to come in and subsidize. It's only where you have a very well-developed freight service, where you have too much cargo, that the cargo can be able to subsidize the passenger. But currently, Mr. Chairman, we are just giving this service to decongest the city, but we are operating at a loss, as I indicated. I indicated, Mr. Chairman, that for every shilling that we are earning,
you spend 2.5
shillings to earn 1 shilling.
But why, really?
Yes.
I mean, in a place like this one where you have passengers, is it on fuel? Is it on what?
If I can tell you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, you can tell me.
Because our locomotives are very old, and we don't want to disappoint the passengers, we use 2 locomotives. Just in case one fails, another one pushes. If you can see, it's very, very uneconomical, because you have to put one in front, another behind. And it has happened, by the way. It fails on the way, then the other one pushes. Frustrate, yes. Not frustrate passengers. Now, that's an additional cost, Mr. Chairman, which you are seeing.
But who asked you for it?
Mr. Chairman, we are...
And I'm not saying it's not necessary.
Yes.
I want to be understood. We are moving well. That money you are taking from us to keep those sick locomotives on the rail, I was going to say on the road.
Yeah.
Probably we would have used it for something else.
Yeah.
That's number 1. Number 2, now for you bought them, why don't you sell them and buy one new one? Maybe for you have no one to sell them to.
Okay. Thank you, Chair.
Are you keeping locomotives or a museum?
Thank you, Chair. In this particular locomotive we are talking that we are using to rail or to move passengers.
Yes.
These are the small locomotives that were bought in 1917 something.
Okay.
So, save for the locomotive which we bought 2011, but we also have some old locomotives that were bought, but we cannot just dump them away. We still
sell them.
Unfortunately, Honorable, if you look at the entire country, it is only URC that has mandated to run trains, so we can't sell them. But we are trying to, like what the MD is saying.
For you can buy old ones. You can't sell them.
We are trying to do something, Honorable.
Yes.
The government has given us a facility under the AFDB financing of $300 million. We are trying to rehabilitate, re-engineer this locomotive. Re-engineering means you get the whole locomotive, remove everything, the heart and everything, put in new stuff. So we're having a project of re-engineering. It becomes cheaper and more effective. It has worked in Kenya. And then the other question which the Honorable asked about the trips, why we don't do afternoon trips. We do morning 2 trips, we also do evening 2 trips. The movement patterns of our commuters is like that in our country. That people come at once in town to work and they go out back to the evening. In Africa, that's how it is, unlike it is in other European countries. But also the nature of the trains we are running, Honorable, the nature of the trains we are running, we are not running DMUs, we are running a longer train. A longer train, you need to fill it. In Europe, they run DMUs, one coach moves as it gets full, as another one gets full. But here, we are still in that old state where you have longer, many trains. That's why you have to pick to use during the peak hours of coming to work and going to work. But also we have, like the MD has highlighted, we have a project where we're going to buy DMUs. And already
what are DMUs?
Diesel multiple units. These are their coaches, they have their own engine. They are not pulled by a locomotive. It's like a bus on rail.
Yes.
It's like a bus. It has its own engine.
Yes.
Even if it's one, it can move at any time. You have 100 people, it will go. But here, you have to get 1,000 people at a go. So, and this modernization is also part of what the accounting office highlighted.
Okay. Thank you very much. The board, you did not answer about the board.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The chairman of the board, Mr. Chairman, is Alhaji Wangubo Dakaba.
Dakaba Wangubo?
Latif.
La?
Dakaba Wangubo.
Okay.
Honorable, yes. Then we have Mr. Muguruma Andrew. Then we have Mr. Obalim Michael. Then we have Mr. Olobo Benjamin. Then we have Honorable Florence Kabahweza Hashaka. We have Madam Hilda Akabrai. We have Grace Kabunga. And we have Benon Kajuna, the MD. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Would you introduce yourself?
My name is Kwizera Eddie from Uchimbiri County, the most visited county in the whole country.
It's in Uganda.
And I am a member of this committee.
Okay. Uchimbiri is in Uganda.
Yes. Like Usiro is.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I want to get some clarification from the visitors. Chairman, we hear of standard gauge railway and our system here, a mismatch. If you still operate from Mombasa, I believe you still operate from there.
Yeah.
So who maintains that line from Mombasa to this place since Kenya shifted from your already historical system standard, I mean the meter gauge to the standard gauge? I want to know if there is any expenditure made. The second issue I would want to know is the capacity of your board, the capacity of your board vis-a-vis your capacity as management, because you cannot make losses 1 year, 3 years, 4 years. You want to know the capacity of the board, if the board has capacity to plan, think and check what you do. Because there is some sickness I'm seeing. Finally, do you have any plan? Because 3 years, you are in loss. At all levels, operational, maintain everything. Where do you see yourselves in the next 2-3 years? Because you are making loss for 3 years. So, Mr. Chairman, those are a few things that would help me form my
The first
opinion.
one was answered in relation to how they move after crossing the border. The second, on capacity of the board, you want to say technical competence?
Yeah, you see, Mr. Chairman, for an organization to operate, the board must have capacity to supervise the management. In many Ugandan
Now, do you want to put these people in the temptation of answering a question relating to the competence of their board? We have agreed.
Yeah, but Mr. Chairman, why I'm saying it, if we find that a number of them are politicians who are there or engineers, that's what I'm. If we cannot answer it on the microphone.
These people don't appoint the board, but we agreed somewhere earlier that we're going to have an interface with the minister who appoints the board. I don't want to have these people answer questions.
So can they account for the 3 years loss?
That is going to cause
Let them account for the 3 years loss, because that's not performance. And they tell us.
Listen to my guidance. I don't want them to leave this place and then the next day we hear there is fire down there when they talked about the competence of their board. Now they are going to answer questions relating to the losses because it's a substantive item in the Auditor General's report. They explain how and why they continue to incur losses. But with regard to your assessment of the board members, judging from their backgrounds, I request that we reserve that question to be answered by the minister. One, because he's the appointing authority. Two, he's the supervisor of the board, who would ask them, why do you continue to supervise losses?
So in that vein, Mr. Chairman, if this committee recommended rationalization, would it be okay?
No, it would not be okay.
Back to the ministry.
It would not be okay because it is not one of the issues under consideration today. Two, it would be prejudicial for us to say that now before we interrogate the entirety of the papers before us and the evidence.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much, and at least you know that I hope you know their core mandate, that we gauge them against their mandate.
Your hope is well addressed. I know their core mandate. Thank you. Honorable Keyo.
Honorable Chair, I seek your indulgence. I wanted to know if there is somebody, maybe the ED, but specifically somebody in charge of the water vessels. Honorable Chair, I beg for your indulgence actually on this.
Well understood, because the man comes from the islands.
Yes, and it is a serious issue. In a spell of just 1 month, I've lost about 20 fishermen because of their vessels applying Lake Victoria from Kisumu. So I wanted...
so they've been knocking people with small boats or swimmers?
No, people fishing. Of late, just
they are knocked by their vessels?
Yes. So I wanted actually 20 people.
In the last 1 month?
Yes.
But they said the vessel is not on the water current.
It is. They have two already operating. The third one is the one that
Thank you.
Mr. Kajuna, would you answer that?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Those are Ugandans, 20 of them in 1 month.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
On water transport is unprecedented.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we are very sorry about the loss of people on the lake. We have 2 vessels, Mr. Chairman, MV Pamba and MV Kawa, which are plying on the waters. We also have vessels of Kenya, MV Uhuru 1 and 2, which ply from Kisumu up to Jinja and also Port Bell. We also have vessels from Tanzania, MV Umoja, MV Mpungu, which also come from Mwanza up to Port Bell and also to Jinja. Mr. Chairman, accidents actually happen on the waters, and one of the solutions, Mr. Chairman, is to sensitize the people, because sometimes the fishermen actually go on the right of way where the vessels do pass unknowingly. And even this vessel actually, which brings fuel from Kisumu to Kauku, Mahati, Also, there was an incident which happened. I think it killed some people. And we are trying continue sensitizing the people to not to get fish in the way where the vessel passes. Because the vessels have the, I don't know whether they call it the right of way, I don't know the term to use, where they normally pass, like airplanes. So when they passing there and they find human beings actually fishing, then unfortunately it happens. But we have tried to talk to the pilots of the vessels, to talk to the communities through everybody, to make sure that at least when they are fishing, they are actually on the side where there is no way where they will be able to. But this is very unfortunate, and we shall keep sensitizing the people about the loss. Mr. Chairman, on the issue of continuous losses, URC, the reason, Mr. Chairman, for the losses is because of the intermittent deferred maintenance of the 1.5 trillion, which came as a result of the termination of the concession. RDR was not at all investing in the maintenance of our assets and the right of way. Mr. Chairman, not all is lost. The government of Uganda has come in with investment, with support from the African Development Bank. Mr. Chairman, we have received a loan of about $300 million. And on this, we are going to procure 10 new locomotives, Mr. Chairman. We are going to procure 100 new wagons, Mr. Chairman. We are going to procure...
But where are you going to pass to? Where are you going to use them from? Because I don't see the infrastructure. It is
also,
there.
Also, the infrastructure is also there.
Okay.
Part of the loan. We are going to do major rehabilitation now of Marava, Kampala. We are also going to procure another new ship. We are going to rehabilitate these vessels because the money actually has also come. So all not, Mr. Chairman, not all is lost. We have the plans to make sure that URC is revamped.
Okay. Let me have my colleagues introduce themselves, those that have not, starting with Honorable Lucy Akello.
Thank you, Chair. Lucy Akello, District Woman Representative Amuru. Thank you.
Why do you say it the Chiganda way? Honorable Savambi.
I've said it at Julia Julie.
Akello. Okay.
Good afternoon, Chair. Yes. Good afternoon, Chair and honorable members and our guests. I'm Yusuf Nsibambi from Member of Parliament, Mawokota County South, member of this committee.
Yeah, good afternoon, Chair and members. My name is Naume Kawashara. I represent Rushenyi County in Ntungamo District. Chair, much as they are making losses, but at least they are smart in their presentation. Because at least they have brought good things. How I wish it could be done even in the real so that we get the result.
Honorable Naume Kawashara. You know, Kawashara in Luganda means kakawa. You've got to be very careful when she makes that statement. Smart in their presentation. Then the next rider is she wishes you could be as smart in your operations. So you clapped, but I was praying for you. Honorable Eddie Kwizera.
Mr. Chairman, I have heard they have the African Development Bank loan, the $300 million. And this mismatch between your standard, I mean the size is 1 meter and Kenya with that kind of thing. So what is the relationship? What plan do you have? Because you must link that thing to ease your... In Kenya they cannot use the standard gauge, then you are using the meter. So why didn't you find out, why didn't you find it as a priority to address that connection?
You will answer that in 30 seconds,
yes,
for
sir.
the benefit of the member who was not here.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Through you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, in Kenya, they both have the standard gauge railway and also the meter gauge railway. The meter gauge railway runs from Mombasa up to Maraba, connecting to us, Uganda Railways. The standard gauge railway currently runs from Maraba up to Naivasha, and they are in the plans now of connecting it to Kisumu and Maraba. Now, that one now will be able to link with our Uganda SGR standard gauge railway. As you are aware, the government of Uganda has also signed a standard gauge railway contract with YAPI, a contractor from Turkey, to construct SGR 272 kilometers from Maraba up to Kampala, and the duration will take 4 years. So we are doing it concurrently in the sense that as Kenya constructs from Naivasha to Maraba, Uganda is also constructing SGR from Maraba up to Kampala, so that now operations are able to start at the same time. Now,
Mr. Chairman, on that relationship between the inside Kenya to our border, you are aware that as much as I know and you know, that Kenyan government wanted a guarantee wherever they are going for financing, that part will be used by Uganda. Are you aware about that one?
Mr. Chairman, I'm not aware.
Because you can see they did not connect to our border because they feared Uganda may not use that part. They wanted an assurance.
No, Mr. Chairman, to the best of my knowledge, the government of Kenya has been soliciting for finances to construct Naivasha to Maraba. To the best of my knowledge, the problem has been finances.
So is there any correspondence between you and them?
Oh, Mr. Chairman, we have so many correspondences. We have minutes of the meetings and letters and, all that, Mr. Chairman, is available. Yes. So really...
Thank you. I gave you 30 seconds. You have answered. I saw the member nodding in approval. He has understood. It doesn't take long to understand. He understands very quickly. Okay. Thank you very much. Now, did someone call the chair? Why are you calling Simon? Yes, Honorable Lucy.
Ted, small information on when we should expect the Gulu section also to
answer that in 10 seconds.
Thank you.
Because you talked about it. We heard it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Tororo
Gulu, Mr. Chairman, the rehabilitation is ongoing. We are now at 51%. We expect to complete it by February 2026. We have already prepared an operational plan to make sure that the moment it is constructed up to Guru, then we are able to start operating it. It's also in one of the areas where we are lacking the assets, the wagons. So we have come up with a budget of about 20 billion, and we have submitted to government if they can give us a supplementary, because it will be more costly for us to rehabilitate the line, which has been there for so many years, and we don't operate it. So we have appealed to our minister. We are also appealing to you. Whenever it comes for supplementary and you don't find a supplementary for Tororo Guru, kindly raise it so that we are able to get money to operate Tororo Guru line. Because it will be useless, it will be just be a giant sleeping.
But you see, you must also stop abusing supplementary. You had a projection that in the year 2025-26, or the financial year 2025-26, you will need this money. Supplementary is for unforeseen. Sometimes we also abuse it by not providing for the money. Then eventually we say, okay, we shall come with the supplementary. It is something that should have been. Unless you're telling us that you made provision for it and we didn't give you money for it. Yes, but I think it makes sense. I think our recommendations will be much broader than that regarding the financing of this sector.
Okay.
Because to me, it's an area, like you said, a sleeping giant. So you now need to wake up the giant to demonstrate that indeed it's a giant.
For sure, sir.
but there are issues you've got to answer first. Why do you have these long-standing statutory payables? In particular, pay as you earn. You know it is statutory, it is from wage is budgeted, and you do not make the payments, amounting now to over 1.152 billion. Where is this money that you deduct?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The reason, Mr. Chairman, for URC not remitting the pay as you earn on time was a result of the cash flow constraints, which was resulting from the low income from the internally generated revenues. Despite this, Mr. Chairman, we have tried our level best to make sure that we become compliant, and we have been able to pay most of the pay as you earn. As I talk, Mr. Chairman, we are up to date, up to...
I think the answer is one. So wage is from internally generated.
Yes, sir.
Where you are making losses.
Exactly.
I think we can reserve this pending the judgment on why they are making losses. Colleagues, isn't that a better way of looking at it?
Okay. But Chair, I mean, I could be made to understand. They receive a subvention from the government. Well, I thought it was purposely for this. Is it for capital development?
Wage? Yes. That's the question I posed and they answered.
And then NSSF.
Then NSSF, same thing.
Mr. Chairman, NSSF, the same thing, but as I talk now, we have paid everything. We don't owe anything to NSSF, Mr. Chairman.
But the reasons are the same. Why you delayed?
Yes, yes.
Has it cost the workers anything? Because, you know, when you remit my NSSF, it earns interest.
Yes.
What happens to the interest that is lost?
Mr. Chairman, I will request the financial controller.
Yeah, Mr. Who?
The chief financial
yes.
officer to respond.
Please tell us, do workers make losses? You're lucky Honorable Bakabulindi is not here. Chief Finance Officer, are you there? Miss Nasuna, tell us why, whether there are losses to the workers.
Yes, they wouldn't earn interest because they haven't contributed to the fund.
So how do you explain that? Please take note of that. Okay, take note of that, clerk. It is a matter that must be interrogated. So what kind of negotiations did you have with NSSF to waive interest? Did you negotiate to waive interest? Because I know the MD of NSSF legally has the power to waive penalties, but no power to waive interest, because interest is somebody's property. And get the microphone, Ms. Nasuna. It is you. The question was referred to you.
Yes, I'll ask the principal finance officer to answer.
Where is the principal finance officer? Oh, she's the one wearing green. Tell us, what did the negotiations entail?
Thank you, Chair. Through the Managing Director, we actually engaged NSSF and computed the interest, and the interest was paid.
Great. We want evidence of that, of the negotiations and the amount remitted. We want evidence that interest was paid.
Yes,
penalties could be waived, but interest, it would be illegal. So interest by close of business tomorrow, let's have a write-up to that effect. Yes. And Waitungo?
Yes, just Chair, on the issue of evidence, they are saying they paid the NSSF and part of the pay. We also need the proof that they have actually paid.
Bring evidence that you actually paid and that you're now complying. The financial analysis here we have, that is issue number 2, the number of the losses. Yes, 1.2. The losses that you consistently make. The Auditor General did observe and tabulated your losses. URC has consistently incurred losses over the past 3 years with cumulative increase of 4.123 billion from financial year 21-22 to financial year 23-24. The increase in loss from 22-23 to 23-24 is primarily due to a 17.2% decline in internally generated revenue linked to railway rehabilitation that disrupted the operations. The persistent trend highlights the urgent need for strategic interventions to reduce operating losses and enhance revenue streams. I think, colleagues, on this, I would want you to start. Yes. No worries, sir. Page 2 to 3. Actually, this one appears on pages 2 to page 5. One, in my understanding, my observation is that what is reproduced here is what the MD has taken us through in this write-up that he made. So I would not find any difficulty in opening the floor to questions. In this highlight, similar to the responses given, he's telling us the reasons why they have been incurring losses consistently and the measures they are trying to put in place. And there are two categories of both causes and measures. The first are those that are within their ability, and the second relates to those that are within, that are without. That is governmental in nature. Capitalization, for example, partly which is what he has been telling us here. Do I have questions from my side, from my team? Honorable Mayanja.
Thank you, Chair. When you look at page, when you look at their financials, Mr. Kajuna, on page 45, page 25, the financials, that is note 19, trade and other payables. It includes the trade payables of 7.7 billion. Are you seeing them? Can we get a list of the details of these trade payables so that we can know the details of these trade payables, or you can explain more about them? And secondly, when you look at your response on page 5, the response, your responses, page 5, you indicate, that is number 5. Are you there?
Yes.
You indicate URC plan to convert non-operational assets into operational ones. Could we get the list of your asset register so that, Chair, we can look at the asset register of URC? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chair, I also go to page 5 on their responses. I see the status on implementation. 1, 2, 3, 4. Chair, I'm interested in number 2. Number 2, they're talking about engaging other cargo consolidators such as factory owners, the Mukwano Industries, Steel and Tube. Chair, I wish we could have a proof on these engagements so that we don't take it as a hearsay. On number 5, the last sentence says discussions with the Minister of Finance are underway. We want to look at those discussions. Is it a Zoom meeting? Is it a WhatsApp message? What is it? Remember, Chair, this is an accountability committee. So we want to look at those engagements in form of documentation, but not like that. Otherwise, Chair, that's my observation.
Thank you, Chair. You know, Chair, me, I believe in business mathematics. The MD was saying that actually it is cheaper and it would save our roads when we use rail transport. Have you ever put before finance? I'm just trying to beef up what my colleague has stated. Do you have some business calculations you have done to prove that the government would be saving this that we are spending on road by transport? Because business nature, as you go to finance to negotiate for funding, do you have a formula that would save their roads, save the money from roads as we use railway? If you could give us that one, it would also help us in our reporting and also help you when it comes to supporting your budget apart from supplementary. I'm one of the people who don't believe in supplementaries. I don't. But for this, if you would convince me that you have a business model proving that we can save this much by transporting using rail as compared to road. Really, I come from the east and the roads are terrible. I've been avoiding the Mavira road to go through the other one. But for the short time that they closed the Mavira, even this one here now of Cosase is gone. So how do you really go to those people and present? I wanted that evidence, and it could help us to also argue and convince the House that we really move and railway is the way to go.
Thank you, Peter. Ms. Rusi?
Yeah, I just wanted to, actually my emphasis was also on page 5, the status on implementation, and my main point was on 2, which has already been talked about. But apart from the evidence, I think this statement is very flat.
Which one is this, madam?
Page 5 on your status, number 2. Engaging other. This engagement, do you see any future in it? You know, it would be good to tell us that, you know, we engage with Mukwano and maybe they are willing or not willing, or we engage with Steel and Tube, something of that sort. I see it very, very flat. Just to add on what my colleague earlier on stated. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Siwambi. Yes, Honorable Muwada.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, for record, my name is Muwada Nkonyenje.
Okay.
From Chadondo East. Now, Chair, I've been perusing through the record from page 2 to 5. But to me, it looks intentional that Uganda Railways Corporation is just banking on the background that we are making losses to hide the profits and to deny this country opportunity of generating an income or sustaining our budget as a country from services of Uganda Railways Corporation. How can very smart individuals like these ones, year after year, parade one narrative that we are making losses and we continue to make losses? Part of the reason, the reasoning I saw in this, as observed by the Auditor General.
Honorable Mwada,
yes.
Information that is Auditor General's report.
Yes.
Information, not from the other side.
No. What part of what the Auditor General observed, as captured here in the audit report, is as a strategy they indicated to the Auditor General that they want to reduce on data, the times for data. I don't know what strategy would that amount to. But to me, my major observation, Chair, is that this particular team might be just hiding and banking on the reasoning that we are making losses in order either to defraud this country, and we need a very honest investigation, to intentionally defraud this country, alleging that the railway doesn't make money, doesn't make profits.
Okay, let's be slow, Honorable Mwada.
Chair.
No.
Chair, there's a likelihood of inside dealings. They even mentioned some companies.
Honorable Nkunyenji Mwada. Honorable Nkunyenji Mwada. You know, when I guide you and you insist, I will withdraw that microphone.
Chair, I'm arresting a thief. But
no, who is this? Please. Switch off that microphone. And go cross over and get me that thief. You don't know. Okay, you show the police officer the thief. No, get the CID to arrest the thief. Why you see me getting tough on this is about the integrity of our proceedings. These are our witnesses. These are our officers. Let us not scandalize them unless and until we have some form of evidence. Honorable Nangoli, you are not going to guide. Let me do the guidance. You see, you may have a good point. The person next to you is the Honorable Sibambi. The Baganda says Sibambi Edibya Mutere. You fail to carry your message through because of the language. That's number one. Number two, you're using a language that is not permitted by the rules. The language of speculation. Number three, don't impute bad motives and don't impute criminality. It is a fact that this entity has been making losses year in, year out. That one is undisputed. And even when you say that, you're not insulting anybody. But just imagine if someone simply said, those parliamentarians are thieves. A blanket statement. You know, we would all be offended. Yeah, so, yeah. Even when somebody is saying that out of ignorance, it is offensive. So I guide records hazard to expunge that. These people are not thieves. They are public servants. They are dignified. However, if there is any theft, it is what we are looking for. So we do not know who stole what. For example, if this man tells you, I came in 6 months ago, and then you call him a thief, I mean, we would not be in order. So the question, the legitimate question you should be asking, and which partly we asked before you came, who is, why are you continuously making losses? 2, how do we get out of here? If you are the cause, we get you out of there. Yes. We get somebody who can give us profits. The reasons that we are interrogating, and over which we have already agreed to invite the minister, is the apparent undercapitalization. 2, we are using old fleet. They have wagons or locomotives which were procured before you and I were born. I mean, do you expect those ones to be used to make profit? No. 3, they have old infrastructure. For example, if you cannot transport cargo to Cosase, which would probably ease...
Chair.
Yes.
I understand.
I'm guiding you so that you ask your question properly.
Just information.
No. Don't inform me now. Let me guide you.
It's very important information.
Let me guide you.
On the wagons, because
Switch off that microphone.
When you said the wagons are very old,
I am saying switch
there are
off.
some which were bought recently, but
switch
they are
off.
non-functional.
But you see, that's the problem of coming late. It is exactly what we've been interrogating. That's why I'm telling you to listen. Honorable Mwada, listen. If you do not have the infrastructure from here to Cosase, you cannot expect to use this entity to make profits or business with the DRC. If you are repairing Tororo Gulu, you cannot deliver cargo to that side of the country.
Yeah.
So I want us to ask these questions with these things in mind. The gentleman has labored from 10 o'clock to give us an explanation on all this. And that informed our decision to invite the minister. So, about the locomotives that you investigated previously, yes, we have discussed them. As we speak, 3 of them, is it 3, are in a hospital in Narukolongo. We have agreed we shall get a team to go and visit the sick to see. We actually agreed they are in HDU, not yet ICU. So, and I want to benefit from the institutional memory of the people who investigated this previously. Are we now well aligned?
Mr. Chairman, your guidance is very, very good. However, it is now 1, and Parliament is at 2, and you have made a very wise ruling that the minister has an issue to answer. So when you look at 1.2 and 3.2, they are related. And these people are very good performers, as the Honorable Commissioner said.
I'm not yet there.
They are failed because of the disbursement of the funds. So when you look at, Mr. Chairman, when you look at page 13,
of
page 13 of this Auditor General's report, you know, the Auditor General changed the format of reporting.
Yes.
We are looking at the budget, because the ROS is out of the budget and planned activities. You find that development government of Uganda counterpart funding 222 million, they get 64 million. This is an issue maybe the minister would be also taking up. So bearing in mind that we have Parliament at 2 and using your wisdom as always, wouldn't it be procedure right that we adjourn? We go for lunch, then they come back with the minister.
I want the country to know, Honorable Kwizera, that one of the sacrifices you've been making for this country for the last
to forego lunch.
For the last, is it 20 years here?
No. This is we are in the 5th year, the 11th Parliament.
Yes. For the last 20 years, you've been foregoing lunch.
I have not been there.
And that is one of the sacrifices. You know, the people of Buchimbiri think you are here to eat.
No. Service.
But one of the things we've been doing here, or not doing, sometimes we forego lunch to serve this country.
Well understood.
Let's go to the next. We wanted to know, I think for the record, these datas. My reading here is that the datas are actually government entities. Your parent ministry, the Ministry of Works, which inherited the debts of UNRWA. Then the other one is Ministry of Lands, Land Commission, Uganda Land Commission, which took your land and is not utilizing it. Clerk, we may not be in a position to keep inviting everybody here and there, every now and then. You would want to write a letter to the PSST or to the Minister of Finance to explain why they are not paying these people. Because avoiding the language of Honorable Muwada but taking the reasoning, they could be finding an excuse for making losses by saying, look, these people owe us money, they don't pay us. And the money we are talking about is very little money from the perspective of the Treasury. First, it is a debt, it's not a donation. Two, they give subventions which are meager, cannot even pay salaries plus statutory obligations. I will adjourn in the terms of Honorable Kwizera, not for the same reasons. No, I'm not adjourning now. Not for the same reasons, but because I'm feeling so frustrated. I'm just angry that Uganda Railways is run like this. There are people who established this entity for a reason. Now, that during our time, we cannot even run what we found in place. Honorable Itungo, you have a question? Or the Deputy Chair?
Before you adjourn,
Sorry, I'm sorry I had promoted you.
there are some questions which were raised by members which have to be answered by Mr. Kajuna.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Chairman, a question was raised on the what are the trade payables. The list of them, I will request the Chief Finance Officer to respond to this. Mr. Chairman, we shall be able to provide a list of the asset register as we have requested. On the issue of the cargo consolidators, Mr. Chairman, we have had a very good engagement with our customers, and one of them is roofings, steel and tube. They have a lot of cargo, and I will request the Chief Operations Officer, who is also the head of commercial, to give us the cargo on hand, which we cannot be able to move. But the cargo actually is available, but because of the challenges, we can't be able to move the cargo. The discussions we have been having with the Minister of Finance, we have evidence, the letters we have been writing, we shall be able to provide. On the issue of the business calculations on the saving of the roads, yes, the Chief Operations Officer will also be able to respond on this. Mr. Chairman, the visit.
Do you have the statistical explanation for that ready? Oh, good.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On the visit by the committee to URC, Mr. Chairman, you are welcome to come and look at the sleeping giant. Writing to PSS team, Mr. Chairman, I think it's in order, but this is going to be a second time, Mr. Chairman, you are writing and no response is being given. And the previous chairperson, Cosase, I think, had already written, and I remember the Minister of Finance coming here, testifying that we shall give you the money, but up to now, the money has not come. So, Chairman, you will write possibly in addition, have an engagement with the Minister of Finance.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Hello Uganda and beyond. Welcome to UBC Lunchtime News, and I am Brian Tumwine Biaruhanga. Former FDC
or a reaction to my communication, I intend to move to the next item, which is inviting the stakeholders to. Yes, Honorable Secretary.
Chair, yeah, you have communicated to us that there is a big group of among our guests who are part of this bill. We wanted them to come in at once so that we can move together. So we expecting more because we may be having a plan that you are handling either 5 or 6 entities in one.